I've bought some new speakers which I'm going to use to replace the standard speakers fitted on the front dash. Most Mark 1 C1s only came with one pair of speakers fitted in the front dash, and this is just a basic upgrade, keeping the stock head unit, just to get some better quality sound. The two speakers are on each side of the dash behind these grills. The grills are easy enough to get out, small screwdriver, there's a little cutout just in the bottom there, lift up and away your grill comes. Undo the two screws with a 10mm socket or spanner, remove and recover them, get your finger down in the far corner and the speaker lifts out. Press on this tag and pull on the connector to pull the speaker away from the cavity. On the left side of car, the two wires are coloured purple and pink, and the pink is the positive. On the right side of car, we've got a dark green and a light green, and the light green is positive. Hopefully your speakers are also marked with positive and negative in some way, sometimes with the actual symbols, sometimes you get a little red paint dot on the positive, but make sure you know which is which on your new speakers. Most aftermarket speakers will come with some connecting wire, one end of which will already have some connectors crimped to it that you can connect to the spade terminals. And in terms of identifying the positive and negative, if it's not marked, usually the larger of the two terminals is the positive. You'll need about 7 to 10 inches of your harness ready to connect to the speaker. We now need to connect the bare ends to the cable coming out of the dash. Because these cables are very, very small and somewhat fiddly, I'm going to use a big piece of wire on the floor to show you the technique that you can use. So I'm going to demonstrate using a short length of this domestic 4mm earth bonding cable. So imagine that this is the existing wire to the speaker terminal, and we want to join a new wire to this from our new speaker, which is going to be this piece of wire. With a knife or a cable stripper, whatever you've got, being very, very careful because these are very, very fine wires. Split the insulation about 1 centimetre or so apart, and then either pull the two halves back or cut that little piece of insulation off so that you end up with about 1 centimetre of wire there. Then with a pick or a safety pin or something, a needle perhaps, split the cores in half so that you end up with a little hole in the cores like so. The wire that you want to join to it, take about 1.5 centimetres to 2 centimetres of the insulation off. It's very fine wire, so twist them together so that there are no stray wires, and then bring that end and put it through that little hole. Wrap that around the existing wire. Put the two pieces parallel just next to it, and then apply a bit of tape. Don't use PVC tape. In the heat that you get under there from the direct sunlight acting on it, that will soon dry up and fall off. The very best stuff you could use would be a small length of self-amalgamating tape. Use the method I just showed you to connect your little harness extension to the leads for the speaker. Looking at where your speaker connections are, I suggest positioning them towards the outside of the car, which means if your speaker like these comes with 4 fixing gears, you'll want to keep those 2 and get rid of those 2, otherwise the speaker won't go in. So use a pair of pliers and break off the 2 that you don't need. Connect your harness extension to the new speaker, drop your speaker into place and put the screws in. Depending on the exact dimensions of your speaker, you may only be able to put 1 screw through the connection ear and maybe just trap the other connection ear under the screw, which luckily comes with a captive washer anyway. Put your grill back, holding it the right way around, push the legs at the front into their holes and then push the rear side down. Obviously do the same with the speaker on the other side, taking note of the colour differences in the wires that I mentioned earlier, and hey presto, 1 pair of new speakers fitted.